What's up, guys? Paul, what's up? What's up? No pre-market trading today. No pre-market trading today. Although I was up early, no pre-market trading today. Just didn't feel super well early, so decided to just not push it, which sometimes can be the responsible thing to do. So, as usual, check out the disclaimer. If you're tuning in on YouTube, remember that day trading is risky. Do not trade with money that you cannot afford to lose. Utilize simulators. Practice before using real cash or a large amount of cash, especially. Small size is the way to go. Even if you are in a small cash account, small size. Other than that, remember my results are not typical. And lastly, I do not invest for my subscribers. Be careful of fake accounts. And I do have in some new aligners, so if I do sound like I have a lisp, that is why. WBUY. Let me take a quick look at this one. Looks fairly good. Looks fairly good. So, three stocks that I'm watching at today. We got KNW, VERO, and WBUY, which we've traded before. WBUY. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up as you're tuning in on YouTube. Hit that thumbs up for good old RT. Let's see here. All right, there's the watch list. There's the watch list. On Monday, I will start a live stream at 7 a.m. on Monday. And for the entire week, next week, we'll be rolling in from 7 a.m. So for those of you who are up early, you guys can tune in. For the others, we'll see you guys around 9. Okay, so in terms of percentage gain, we got WBUY really making its way up there, but KNW still the leading stock as of right now. KNW, which is currently up 145% with 18 million shares of volume, pre-market highs at 177, low of our current pullback, 124. I am going to take a quick second to start my screen recording. Today I am continuing with small size, just a couple hundred shares. And of course, it'll be appropriate for the stock. If we're trading a 10, 20-cent stock, we'll use a slightly more size, just so it makes sense, right? But starting up the screen recording here, KNW, I'm going to take a quick look at the daily chart. These new aligners on the left side, it's like not quite fitting the teeth properly. So it's like, creating this lisp sound, but I think it will be good. So looking at KNW, honestly, it doesn't look bad. We did get a massive move though on March 5th from 245 to 947 with lighter volume, however. So since then we've been selling off slowly, and today is the first day we're really popping up. We did get a day in there from 34 cents to 77 cents is how low it went from that high of 950 or so. And some of these stocks will sell off pretty brutally. Today, breaking news from 50 cents up to 177. So, we are pulling back. We'll have to see if we can see some sideways action and then a red to green into the open. We haven't been holding up super well on a lot of them. But sometimes you never know, right? We still want to be patient and optimistic as well. Just in case the move happens, we're ready to go. WBUY, I'll take a look at this one here quickly. So recent push, and now up 71%, breaking over the pre-market highs at 717. This is a nice trade. I probably should have been looking at this setup here. This is a nice flag here. We had bottoming wick, and a rip over 7, starting to push to 745 and then 822. This is a beautiful setup here. Now we have a new high of 849. This stock did go all the way to $28, which is why, the name sounds familiar, going back to early May, which is just 1 month ago. But on lighter volume as well for the most part. But today, perhaps we get another opportunity for a move up to 10, maybe even more, right? Hopefully we can see a strong continuation here on WBUY. Discord? Okay. Thanks, Big Steve. When I unplug my mic, which I did last night, sometimes the Discord, let's see. Check, check. Check, 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 check. I think it should be good now. Big Steve, are we good? Are we loud and clear there? Loud and clear. Yeah, and I had up the YouTube stream on this right hand side, so I wasn't able to see the audio feed. That green outline that'll come around your name as you're talking. So I do apologize for that. So again, WBUI, looking okay, looking good. Nice setup there around 9:20 a.m. for the breakout. I might watch this one coming into the open actually. I think we might see a little bit more action here first before KNW and the others. But you never know, right? And then lastly, there's VERO, which is up 66%, 30 million shares of volume. Pre-market highs up at 457. It looks good. It looks good. The VWAP is around 390.95. We're hanging out right around the VWAP for VERO. I can pull it up here quickly. We'll see. We'll see how this one does. The absolute low of the current move is around 377. But right now we are holding up a little bit more tightly towards VWAP area. This one we did gap up a couple times on the daily chart and sold off. Most recently going from about 250 to 7 and then to 14, right? The gap was to 7 for the lows, and then we had a high of 1450. The 200 EMA is at 470, which is in the thick of things, so it's worth mentioning here. Definitely want to be careful with. If we do get over the pre-market highs, perhaps we can see a move to 5 or 6, but being that we have so many topping wicks, gotta watch out for those early sell-offs. VERO. But hopefully we can see something on it. So into the open, WBUY, and it is coming down a bit here though. Gonna make sure to have my small size set. Small share size for El Pastor. And we're gonna be ready to go. Let's trade to the best of our abilities. Let's stay disciplined. I want to keep in mind longevity. Really wait it out until we start seeing some stronger opportunities. And also I want to keep an eye on the scans and on the chat in case we do get an early penny stock. DTCK want to keep an eye on as well. That is a penny stock that could, potentially give a move. It popped up a little bit pre-market, but came down. But just in case. Low 673 WBUI, high of 730. The 1 minute candle to make the new high, not quite holding up yet. VERO is moving up slightly. I'm gonna check out VERO here. 457 for the pre-market high. You know, we're 410. A small move though. We got 2 consecutive green candles to start. The volume does seem a little bit more calm. The price action volume. I forgot to change my share size there. I got 4,000 shares in the trade. I got to be careful. It's a couple cents winner, but not the size I'm trying to use here. Can't forget. I have 4 order entry windows. I got to remember to change the size on all of them. I've had days where I took like 15,000 shares by accident, and you know, you sometimes because the fills the stocks are liquid, you get filled like right away, and you don't even notice. So VERO. WBUI could be perking up for red to green here. I'm still keeping an eye there as well. DTCK, is it halted up? No, not quite. It might be halted up here soon. Davis Commodities at 104, 103. VERO, small pullback there. If this one gets halted up, I will keep an eye. And potential red to green for WBUI. Although we did have trouble up here last time. There's a spread of about 17 cents. WBUI, not the type of spread we want to see here. Can we see some tighter spreads? The trade at the lows, though, down at 670 seems to have held up at least. If we can get a candle to close above this level, that'll be really good. Potential confirmation there. So I'm going to give it a second. Davis Commodities halted up. D ticker symbol DTCK. That resumption could be pretty good in the next 4 minutes. So WBUI, big levels here. It looks like it might get halted up as well, WBUI. Not the cleanest opportunity for the pullback trade, but so far so good. It'll be key for the stock to hold up above the previous resistance, and it's doing a good job here to this point. Candle's going to close. There it is. I hit the buy button twice there. So this is key for stock to hold up the pullback here. If this flushes out, then, it's just this is a good setup not holding up well. Where are those bulls? Where's KB? Right here, right now, in a beautiful setup. See, that's not what we want to see right there. A beautiful setup. False halt up. The dip not holding up. Man, that is ideal too for that setup. So switching over to DTCK, resumption in 2 minutes 19 seconds. We did size up a little more, 500 shares there. We're coming out all the way down. It's at 16 from an entry of 46. That's the breakdown there. Pretty quick from 30. Didn't mind being down 10, 15 cents unrealized for that chance to curl back up. But that flush out is going to drop down to 710. And that's where the risk can increase, right? Because we're not really seeing a lot of gradual breakdowns to where you can get out 28, 26, 27. We're seeing a teleportation down at every time now, every area. But the breakout though, if you were to take it aggressively 35, you could have gotten $8 or so exit potentially, 780, 790. That is the risk of waiting for confirmation sometimes, is that you could miss the breakout, especially if there's no continuation. And it is back up a little. The resumption is a minute 10 seconds on the other stock. VERO, big red candle washing out. So will the second time be the charm? WBY. And because of my style of trade, typically when we flush out like that, I'm thinking we might see more of a retracement. So not really watching the dip at VWAP. It is going to hold. I think maybe like a low of day, set to 680, 670 dip. But it's actually a tight dip at VWAP to curl back up. So that hard rejection is right back up here, 780. 17 seconds for the other stock here, resumption. Ticker symbol DTCK coming up. 104 at 104. I do have it off screen. 108 is the pre-market high. Here we go. A couple of good trades, 2 good trades there. Smaller size. We got 22 for the halt up again. It's not quite pinning at the level though. If we can get locked in again, I think that could be good. The halt level's extended. Over 22 could be interesting. Taking it. It's not instant. And I got some slippage there, it looks like. Massive slippage. It's still in play though. Let's see how it holds up. 32 to new halt up. It moves quick. You got to be careful. It does move quick. DTCK. The halt down is 101. There's 04. It's back up a bit. Can we see back over 15? The 2 trades that I had out of the resumption were excellent trades. I'm not sure how I didn't make more. I must have had some pretty bad fills. They're like perfect, picture perfect trades. I took a small loss from 24 to 20 and I'll come flat. It's like, no, there's no way. Not after those sweet two trades there. But this is a tough one though, because once it starts to come down, it's dropping like 8 cents. If you get caught in just one or two of those, it looks pretty bad. So I do like that we're flagging here for WBUI, coming back to it. Coming back to WBUI. I think I'm going to size down some more here quickly. Let's just see how this setup here does. In the spreads. The spread here is going to make this one a little bit more tougher to breakouts. You'll be down like 5 to 10 cents instantly. Just on the spreads. 70 fill there. Okay. Can we hold the whole dollar? Tough fill, man. And we're only seeing 18. It might go, maybe a little slower to push some more here. The halt is at 29. The entry, though, it's a little aggressive to try and hold too long. We want to see the quicker push there. Not getting the fill on the ask right there. It might be coming down. Man, this is a tough one. Can we get something to hold up and keep going without dropping down? Like, it's just, like right here under normal context, I'm thinking the short sellers who might have, reshorted in the last consolidation, could potentially be getting squeezed if we can get through the pre-market high, especially, but right back down. Body slammed. So DTCK, we had two great trades, which should have put us up like at least 300 because we had 3,000 shares. Ended up being a bit of a dud. FAAS is the cheaper one. Indeed it is. Shout out to SF with the call out there. Okay. $77 highs. For WBUI, it seems like the key is to just buy the massive dip and then just hold because I don't know what that thing is doing, man. Seeing a bit of a pullback, FAAS. Taking 71, 72. Trying 70. Tight stop, tight stop. Can we see the bounce? Can we see 74, 74? There's a small seller, but not for this type of price. That's like nothing. So 180. Okay, so 186,000 shares. What's up with the other? There's a new low, 6.8. I'm gonna try. We're at the view up. Could have been a little lower there, but a little late to buy in the spread. We'll see if the view up is able to hold. WBY at 860. Is that a new high? Potentially, yeah, I think so. If it flushes out again, it could be an opportunity. But, preferably the uptrend is what we like. But it seems like we're not really getting sustained uptrends. We got FAAS coming down. Potential break of 9. The halt is at, well, now it's at 21. Halt was at 03. Might get locked in, but, with the spreads, we'll need to see some bigger bids higher. All right, okay, it looks like WBUI is going to be the one. It looks like we'll get locked in. All right. Halted up. So out of that big sell-off, we grinded, and got back up to highs, and then we had a low of 20. I did attempt that dip, I think. Let's see, what was my low? I got 40. Hold up. Let's see. Is that the right trade? Well, I thought I attempted that dip. Maybe not. Maybe that was the first one. DTCK. It is curling back up. Lighter volume, curling back up. This one, I don't really like it. You gotta, once it starts to drop, it's evaporating. Not great for the limited downside risk. There's definitely upside potential, but the downside risk could be just as great if the setup is to fail. Not ideal for the 2-to-1 that we would love to see all the time, but there's opportunity. Two minutes, 55 seconds to the resumption. Don't forget, if you're watching on YouTube, to hit that thumbs up. If you're a new viewer, consider subscribing if you're new to the channel. DTCK, it's like part of me wants to trade it, but again, having awesome trades and not making having two awesome trades and having one scratch loss, like a scratch trade, and I'm flat, it's like it's nonsense. So I don't want my optimism to get the better of me being too aggressive there. I probably have to size down even more than 1500. But WBUI is coming up. It's coming up. So I think despite even if it gives massive flushes, I'm gonna keep paying attention to it to stay in rhythm and watch the grind back up. Big Steve, just 300 shares for me, man. Normally it'd be at least 1500 on a stock like this, maybe 2K. I'd have big sizes like 4500. Let's say the first trade is good, then second trade like 4500 shares for the continued push, but not me, not right now. When it's hot, is in those situations you could be up like 5K like so quickly, like in one trade sometimes, but I'm gonna look to do that with 300 and 500 shares. We're still sticking to the smaller size. Big Steve is gonna send it for the team here. 30 seconds. No fear, no hesitation, looking for the continued push. And then if we can see a sweet breakdown, a sweet pullback. It's showing 49 resumption in the next 5 seconds. We're not pushing through 70. Okay, there we go. You gotta watch out for any flushes. I'm gonna ease off and give it a sec. A bit of a turn there, but we did hold up, mid to low 20s, mid to high 20s. There's been a spread. Man, I'm getting filled above the ask price, which is quite brutal. Not bad. I think the 5-minute candle looks pretty healthy. The 5-minute chart looks pretty healthy. I'm geared up to scale in some more if I can. Oh, it's the wrong hotkey there. Okay, there we go. That's better. Yeah, I'm geared up to scale in some more if I can, but being that we've had a move up here twice, it, let's see. We might see some new lows. So I'll take mid-20s. I'll wait. Davis Commodities coming down aggressively there. If we get through the resistance, we can I'll watch the highs here. We're having some resistance below 50. Time 59. Can we hold the range? If not, we can see new lows. Okay. I'm going to start to scale in slowly. Just the starter here again. And let's see how well it holds up over the next 3 minutes. We might see consolidation. We might not. All depends. There's a 20-cent spread below 80 right there, which was tough. Below 9, which was a little tough. Yeah, sometimes you'll see that new low. It's not going to linger. It's going to be right back up. So I'm not going to add. I'm not going to get the chance to add, let's say. What's going to go 300 shares max size? Full size, rather. Full size. I'll take half here and then wait, see if the rest keeps going. I don't mind if we come back down, and you know the key is now though is can we hold up our levels, right? There can also be more scalp opportunities coming, but for me, high or low, high or low. I think eventually over time we can see a retest of 950. Forty-one. We could see it retest the lows again. It's possible, but so far it's holding up a little higher. And they move quick, man. They move quick. We had 840, 850s, 860s, and then right back up. Could the breakout start low? Possibly, but I'm not super interested in that. We've had the resistance at 950. And DTCK, that one sold off. FAAS, I gotta check on VERO. So right here, this is fine. Now the key is for us to hold up our levels, and we don't want to teleport down to like $8. Then that would be good. We do have a bit of a downtrend, but can we hold up the previous lows? Even if it breaks down to reclaim, that's fine too. A bit of a higher low, which is good. So what I want to see is 950 over time. It can do whatever it wants to do here, and then in the next couple of minutes, 5 minutes, can we see 950? These are the setups that are just, teleporting down. Like, will this one work, right? Will this one work? That's the question. Can we see 950 or at least close to it? That's been the obvious resistance on the push here. These setups are failing miserably all the time. Okay, 25, not bad. Finally, a setup working out. But it's like seeing this is like, it feels so good to just see this setup work. I mean, it didn't get to 80 yet, or retesting the highs, but it seems like all the time we're just flushing through those support levels. We're seeing more resistance again here at right below 950. Seeing more resistance. And it almost seems unreal that the setup is holding up, which, unbelievable. This is more of what we see in a normal market, like that right there. And then, you're in with size, it adds up pretty quickly, right? And also when we're breaking down, it's not teleporting down. So you can be able to get out at like, 20, 30, 40, rather than, hey, stock is at 890. The risk that you had to keep it tight is thrown out the window. If it starts to hold above 50, I think it'll look really good here for the retested highs. Candle has 2 minutes 30 seconds. Some people didn't sell anything there. They're still holding for the new highs. And then, we have short sellers here, perhaps around 30, 40s, 50s. So it's like if we're to get over that level, we should be way more buying than anything. People covering into this previous highs. If short sellers are still shorting into the previous high of 990, and then we get to 10, 10, 15, 10, 20, that's where we should be exploding into a halt up instantly. It is possible to see higher lows as well, but going small in case we do get the retest. This 5 minute candle has less than 10 seconds, and we would love to see some more buying. Can we close above 925, 920? That'd be a great sign if it does. Where did we close? Uh, Closed at 910. Okay, that's fair. Are we getting ready? Maybe. It might be getting ready here for a massive move. Hopefully. If not, tight stops. Close wasn't super high. It's like a little in between. So perhaps we could also retest the lows. Still possible. But I'm going to hold this position a little longer here just to see. 73. Okay, I'll cut it for 6 cent loss. The third time is always a little bit more risky, but we'll see if it's able to, hold. Higher low would be good too. How did VERO finish up? It's still holding up somewhat. Just watching and waiting. We're kind of in between here. I like it high or low. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. Also, if you're a new viewer, consider subscribing to the channel. The new 5-minute candle is 3 minutes out. We're in a bit of a sideways trend here. There's volume coming in. I'm going to throw out a starter here just to see. Okay, it's coming down. Really small size there. Okay, it's coming down kind of hard. That's some good buying, but instantly back down. It's good for that starter because if not, with bigger size or normal size, that's a massive loss there from 25 area down to 995 or so. The range is pretty massive, so it's a tough one to manage the risk on. You know, I'm in at 70 here. We can be at 70 and then seeing 50, 40 instantly. You know, do I want to add? Do I want to cut it to recycle the trade? Sometimes you can break down in those moments and you're kind of buying the fallen knife. I think I'll avoid this next trade here. And wait. I'm gonna avoid this dip. I'll get in if it really it has to show something good. 62. We do look pretty good still, but yeah, we held up there. We got 87 now on the ask. We got 684 people in the building, which means we got a couple of new faces here in the community. So of course, welcome to the channel. Right now, the great Relentless trader is in a drawdown, so I've reduced my share size 10x to trade small and to practice essentially here to regain the rhythm, regain the confidence so that I don't continue to lose at a rapid pace. My first drawdown in like 3 years or 4 years. The whole world has been upside down here, so taking it slow, trading small, and once we can start to see some more consistency, more setups working out for what I like to trade, only then will I size back up. So subscribe to the channel and enjoy the journey. and prepare to be winning, because lots of winning is coming. Let's see how it does. There's a churn. If we don't retest the absolute low, could be interesting. But there's a churn here. We're seeing buying and selling, a bit of a mix coming in on the tape. I'm only throwing out starters. So we're seeing 90. That's a good sign right there. I think I want to give this trade a chance. We didn't quite test the absolute low, and we had some good buying. Can we see 915, 920? And so right there, with 1,000 shares in at 60, we're seeing 90 on the ask. Typically a $300 trade there. But the key is for us to continue to hold up our support levels. If we're breaking down, it's gonna be Depsy. 1 minute left in the candle here, and the flag on the 10-second is looking all right. It seems like we've been having a bit of a downtrend more than anything here, though. So we'd want to see some good volume coming in and a continued move up. If not, we can come down. And we're retesting the low again here. So only got up to 90 there. We did take a small part of the position off. And this miniature flag here breaking down again. So we're still in this, downtrend here. It's looking like it might come down. So if it does, if we can reclaim, that'll be pretty good. The volume is really light here. I think it'll make a new low, but just watching just in case. I can always see a surprise push. The trend is just down, down, down. We're not really seeing candles make new highs in the 1 minute consolidation. There's a new low. Can it reclaim? Can we reclaim? Doesn't look like it. Titanic. See, but that right there is a little bit more fair and predictable. But prior days we're seeing the flush out right here, very quickly and immediately. Right here, flushing out. At least we held up twice. This third time, it's coming down. This is more normal, I'd say still. But it's a good move going up. All things considered, I guess. But a little choppy. We got caught on this red candle here earlier in the push. Got caught in that red candle there for a brutal loss, buying the dip. Or it might have been the one of those two red candles where we got caught. So right now, is anything else moving? Big Steve, how did you like that resumption? I don't know. The resumption was a little tough. Big Steve, let me know if you got anything out of that resumption on WBUI earlier. Checking the scans. I'm gonna take a look at a couple of stocks that hit a little earlier. Gonna rotate through the watch list stocks here. Is it time for me to be buying the dip on Tesla again? You know, yesterday. Hold up. Yesterday I was here in the office, but I was doing other things. I was writing something up, typing for like 2-3 hours, and I was aware that the stock was going down, but I didn't realize how low it got. I saw like 295, and then I looked back after like a little later, and I'm like, wait, what? We had a low of 70? Man, hindsight is always, but there's opportunity, any time in my personal opinion when companies are selling off for something. Well, I mean, it could affect it will affect the balance sheet, right, in terms of the tax credits, but it'll affect every EV company. So, yeah, I have today's archive. I can post it. Yeah, that's not a problem. What I can't wait to post is the archive of the 30K day that's coming on the next hot cycle. That'll be a nice one for the people to watch. Do we think that we can see a bounce out of this resumption? It's always a good question. We went from, I'd say, 934 without any real trend up for a candle or two. So I think it could be worth a trade. Probably a little higher risk. Guys, we have 650 people. 650 people and only 140 likes. Shout out to the 140 people that hit the thumbs up already. But the other 450 people, what's going on? Did I join the Warrior Trading Program? No, I didn't join the Warrior Trading Program. But shout out to Ross. I am using these scanners still. They're pretty good. Resumption, 59 seconds. This OG already hit that thing. The thumbs up. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Where do I see the resumption time? My level 2. Here, I'll show you. I'll actually show you pretty quickly. I can see it on my level 2, counting down right here. Boom. There it is. Right there. There you go. 26 seconds. 26 seconds. Jeez Louise. That's fine. Whatever. 17 seconds and counting. These scanners are a little pricey, I will say. $200 a month. Ross is, I don't know how many people are using it. 780. Taking the 73 dip. Did I get the fill at 90? Only 83. Yeah, $200 a month is kind of steep, but if it's giving you the tools you need to be a better trader, even if it's 1% better, especially when you start to make good money from trading. If you're a smaller trader now starting out, and every penny matters, maybe, you might not be able to afford it. But I'd say it's definitely worth it, especially when you're able to see some more gains. These type of things, these tools like this, they pay for themselves. They pay for themselves because, you're getting to the stocks quicker, you're seeing more opportunities, and depending on how your trading is set up, you can also write it off versus taxable your taxable income. It is a business expense. Part of the one of the expenses for the business, right? For your trading business. We must treat trading as a business. How is the raw scanners different from Momo Pro? Marcelo and I both are supposed to make videos going over the scanner. A couple things. One, there's the 10-second chart over here. Whilst Momo Pro does have charts, it's a little bit more. I think the platform overall caters to a more wide variety of traders, where Day Trade Dash is specifically catered towards small cap traders. So, for example, Momo Pro also has a chart, but it's more, it's not 10 seconds. It's more the more generic, 1 minute, 5 minute, or it might even be daily. I have to double check on that. Um, but the biggest thing for me is the high of day momentum scanner. This running up scanner, which I actually didn't even know they had for half the time I was using this, and also the small cap high of day Momo, right? During the open, we're not seeing a ton of high of day stocks, but in pre-market, these two scanners here in pre-market, they shine right away. The moment something starts to move, I'm on it. I can see it instantaneously. And that's what we need. Back in the days, I used to use Trade Idea through E-Trade. E-Trade had a deal with Trade Ideas. And this is exactly what I remember that scanner being. It's like right away something starts to move, boom, you're on it. So Momo Pro, again, it was catering to a little bit more of a wider variety of traders. And so when it comes to the high of day scan over there, it wasn't as tight as I would like. It wasn't, filtering as efficiently as it possibly could. And that's because, again, it's a little bit more broader, right? You have like large cap people, mid cap, and some small cap traders as well using it. So, but there was something that I asked for that wasn't able to, it wasn't implemented. I was asking for it for like 2 years, actually, at least like 4 or 5 times. Phone calls with the big boss over there, and it wasn't added. So, but Momo Pro is still good. It's still good. It's lower price, so if, I don't think it's better than this, but if you can't afford this, that could be maybe your next best option. There's free scanners on YouTube as well. BJDX. Let's see how this one looks. There's free scanners on YouTube. There's there's free scanners on YouTube. There's scanners in the platforms themselves, but it all comes down to how you like things to be displayed, and you know the nuances, right? Some people will be fine with a YouTube scanner. Others will be fine with a scanner in the broker. Some people are using the external scanners. The only downside about the external scanners is that it's not linked to your broker. So if I click on this stock here, it's not going to automatically populate in my platform. That does take away from the speed of which you can pull up a stock slightly. But, I guess it's something you just kind of deal with, right? But yeah, this is solid though. Let's see. I'll be back in a quick second here. It doesn't look like anything is really moving. 1 sec. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, check out the disclaimer. I actually can pull up the disclaimer screen as I do this. I got to do something that's a little bit more private. See, the problem with trying to stream is that you can leak so much information. Oh, I shouldn't be doing this, bro. I just feel like I shouldn't even be looking at this stuff. It just feels like I'll be cooked. Okay, maybe I don't do it. I'll probably not even do this. Yeah. I'm trying to check some messages to get something, but I'm too, I don't even know the word here. Too paranoid. I think certain things, if it does leak, like if your account number, if my account number leaks, I have to, I kind of have to change it. Other things are more fine, like, usernames, things like that. I don't really care about because that's only like one out of the four things I need to get into my accounts. There's 700 people watching. There could be one person trying to get me. I don't know. Right? Yeah, home address would be kind of tough. So one thing I'm not supposed to ever do. I gotta make sure I don't get too distracted here talking. Just keep an eye on the scans. Keep an eye on the chat. If my home address is to leak, now that's gonna be pretty bad. You just never know, man. Like I would like to think everyone here is pretty cool, and the average age is about 28 to 48. So more mature people, people who are like, um, well on into their careers, businesses, sane, morally prudent people. But you just never know sometimes, right? If I live alone and my home address leaks, I don't care. If I live like by myself fully, that stuff means nothing to me because it's just me, and I'm not worried about my own like I'm not worried about myself. But if you're living with other people, that's where it kind of becomes a little bit more dicey. I'd have the whole audience in the house, right? That's how I am. Like I just put out the ad. If the address is supposed to leak, I just put out the whole address and invite everybody over for a barbecue. Come on down. I go buy a couple boxes of chicken, light up the grill, invite the team house guys, and then we have a party. Embrace, embrace it. But once you have a family and you have relatives and these things, it's just not the way to go. NAMM getting mentioned in the chat. Take a look here. Also, when the markets are slow, I start to rant and just talk about any random topic. Some people definitely will leave because they're still trading. Could be distracting. MB, lighter volume. NAMM. I never understand who's able to really trade these stocks like this. Unless I mean, this one is an IPO, but sometimes you'll have a stock with history that moves up like this. And unless I'm holding shares overnight or swing trading it for a longer swing, it's so tough to be a part of this type of price action. Lighter volume, halts going up. What's a good entry? How do I manage risk on this? I don't think there's a way for me to do it with how I trade. WBY at the lows, DTCK at the lows, FAAS sideways. We also had, I believe, two others, KNW. Maybe we see a red to green here. And how about the VERO? Are we doing? VERO did not hold up super well. Pre-market was a little slower today, although KNW did come around 9 a.m. WBUI. Oh, it's a very quick push there. Okay, okay. Can we hold up? Yeah, the chat room requires a number because we have to filter. I could turn that off actually, but anytime the chat room is free, like if we open up the free section again, we kind of need those precautions to help filter out the noise. One thing about scammers is that they don't like to pay for anything, especially if they're like in different countries. We held up the first pullback here on WBUI over VWAP. So far, it is holding above the VWAP here. And it is a slow day today. I'm thinking to shut it down early. Is today Friday? I think today's Friday. I'm thinking to shut it down early. I'm thinking to shut it down early. This is a good bounce here. You know, I think this is a good bounce. I'm not paying attention to the lows as we're trending down like this, but not a bad setup here for this red to green off the lows. I definitely have to continue to work on rewiring my brain because I do miss a lot of bottom bounce opportunities because I typically only try to focus on an uptrend, which is not always. And I think a part of that is because of the time I started to trade, which was in a market where if anything was downtrending, it didn't make sense to look at. And this was like over the course of 2-3 years. All right. So typically during pullbacks where we've failed a key support level, I tend to just look away from the stock, rotate, look for other opportunities. Well, sometimes, especially when a stock has been strong, we're not going to sell off indefinite. There's more than likely going to be an area where we give a bit of a breather, even if it continues lower again. And I miss those areas a lot because of that. So I think that's something I can continue to try to work on here is to still pay attention, because if I am paying attention, I'll be able to notice this opportunity here. It's not a bad setup. I can already imagine Dynamo where he's loaded in 30K size, riding the wave. Shout out to the chat room. I think I'll shut it down here. So for those of you who will go the distance to 4 p.m. and beyond into after hours, continue to be disciplined, continue to be patient, continue to look for opportunities that you know and love. So it's another really small day here. Down $50. I lost some gas money here. Not ideal. WBUI, I think we could have done better without switching away, because both times we had these massive red candles. I looked away. I'm like, okay, let's see if something else is looking good. And then you kind of miss that. Again, similar to what I was just mentioning, even with this setup here. A lot of times when we're selling through key support levels, I kind of, take that step to see if anything else is moving and can then miss the early opportunities for the red to green, because we could have definitely gotten better opportunities coming up here, being more in rhythm for the halt going up that we ended up having. But yeah, so slow day. I don't even know how to pronounce your name, but it's been a rough week for all of us, man. Well, not all, but for me, it's been a rough week for me as well. Someone else, David, saying PR week for him, right? Personal record week. So you can have the different perspectives there. And we all could have traded the same exact stocks too, right? Let me check out this area here. Yeah. Yeah, definitely got to watch out. So hit that thumbs up. I'll be on Monday. I'll start the live stream at 7 a.m. On Monday onwards, the rest of the week, that next week, and then we'll keep going in pre-market. I'll start 7 a.m. It'll be good to get the weekend. Yesterday what happened? I went shopping. I went like grocery shopping. I actually have a picture of a massive cart of food that I got. Let me. For those of you who are done or like on the sidelines here, I'll show you guys. I'll post it I'll post it into the Gen chat in the chat room. My siblings, they eat like it's going out of food is going out of style. So the past store was loading up. I went early at like 7:30, and man, I don't know why it took so long. The line's in there, and by the time you look back, it's like 9:30. And I need to be in bed by 10 a.m. 10 p.m. the latest. So this what kind of messed me up for pre-market today. I mean, I did wake up still, but I felt so terrible. You got to get into sleep, especially if I'm going crazy in the gym like I am. Wake up and just feel too sluggish, and at that rate, you've already lost. Already lost the battle. Need to be as fast as possible. This is just for like 4 people, man. And this is gonna be done in like 1 week. It's how crazy. Maybe there's a problem here, perhaps. Oh man. But thank God for day trading because, going and doing this is like a scratch trade. One scratch trade. One scratch trade. You go, you spend $200-300 on groceries, and you don't even look at the bill because you've been able to do well over the years. The last time I talked to Marcelo about like doing any shopping, he's like, bro, I haven't checked the bill in like 2 years. The mighty enjoying his gains at grocery shopping. Take a look at this massive. I'll tell him the stream in the chat here. This massive, massive cart. This massive cart. Why I can't seem to locate the gen chat? Okay, there it is. Look at this. Look at this massive cart. Massive. Just look at how much milk. And it's gonna be done in 1 week. In 1 week, I think maybe I'm feeding these guys too much, man. My younger siblings. One is off in college, and it's only the 2 younger ones here. That's just they're on a tier. Massive, massive, massive. But it feels good to be able to do this type of stuff, and trading is definitely the reason why, right? The flat screen broke in the living room. It's like, okay, new flat screen TV the next day, $1,600 scratch trade. And the scratch trade terminology came from hanging out with the team house members and them referring to any purchase, no matter the price, as a scratch trade because of the relentless confidence to believe in our trading that we can always be better and improve over time. And so as we keep putting in the effort and we then put the size behind our trades, we can ultimately see bigger and better days. And as a result, even a purchase that might be 1,500, 10,000, 20,000, 100,000, a million, whatever, ends up becoming a scratch trade. And we've seen it for sure here, not only from myself, but in the community here in the chat room. The monthly P&Ls, we had so many people do around $50,000, $70,000, $80,000 months, posting their calendars here in the chat room. When you're seeing this stuff, and the people are also smart about their cash, very quickly it adds up, and then ultimately you can be able to take care of yourself, take care of the people around you, and live life. WBUY is still giving opportunities for the people here that's locked in. Another pullback here after a massive, massive dip. But I will be shutting it down. I wonder if Tim got this set up here. Tim will sometimes never look away from his screen for 5 hours straight. The volume is decreasing, which is something to pay attention to. So be careful of the prolonged uptrend. It could probably reject. But yeah, shutting it down. Take care, stay safe, stay green. Catch you guys Later. Shout out to Jorge. All right. Monday, 7 a.m. I'll see you guys then. Take care. Have a good one. Yeah, I did show the food haul. Here, I'll show it one more time. Real quick before I go. Boom. There it is. There's the food haul. Massive, massive. All right, take care. Yeah, yeah. Ross has to lose 10 mansions before it even means anything. And that goes for anybody who's, imagine Elon Musk, right? What he'll have to lose before he really starts to feel it. But anyhow, stay here. Stay focused for those of you still going. WBUI, still giving opportunities.